Assalamu alaikum. Hello everyone. My name is Muhammad Wajid Remote Jambwala. I am a student at Rihan AI Teacher Training Institute. I am doing AI Teacher Training course. So today I will take an interview with ChatGPT. So without further delay, let's get started. Hello ChatGPT, how are you?
बिल्कुल, मैं उर्दू में बात कर सकता हूँ। आपको
Are
जो
you
भी
listening
मालूमात
me?
या मदद
Hello
चाहिए, आप उर्दू में
ChatGPT,
पूछ।
are you listening me?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly. Everything is coming through clearly, so feel free to continue with whatever you'd like to discuss.
I want to take an interview with you and I will ask question and you will give answer each of them in detail. Are you ready?
Absolutely, I'm ready. Just go ahead and ask your first question whenever you're set, and I'll provide a detailed answer for you.
Yes, my first question is what is toxic positivity and how does it manifest?
That's a great question. Toxic positivity is when there's an excessive, often forced focus on only positive emotions and rejects or downplays any negative feelings. So instead of allowing people to express frustration, sadness, or disappointment, it pushes them to just stay positive all the time. This can manifest in everyday life through phrases like, just look on the bright side, or everything happens for a reason. And it can actually make people feel isolated or guilty for having real, authentic emotions.
So my next is how can you identify toxic positivity in relationships?
That's a really important point. In relationships, you might identify toxic positivity when one person consistently dismisses the other's struggles or emotions, saying things like, don't worry, just stay happy, or it could be worse, be grateful. If someone feels like they can never share their real worries, or if their negative emotions are brushed aside, that's a sign. Healthy relationships, on the other hand, allow space for both positive and negative emotions without judgment.
Okay, so my next question is what is the impact of toxic positivity on mental health?
Yeah, that's really crucial. The impact on mental health can be quite damaging. When people are constantly told to suppress negative feelings, it can lead to feelings of isolation, shame, or even increased anxiety or depression. People might feel like their emotions are invalid, so they don't seek help or talk about their struggles. Over time, this can really erode trust and create a barrier to genuine emotional connection.
Okay, so my next question is how does toxic positivity differ from healthy positivity?
That's a really good distinction to make. Healthy positivity is all about balancing optimism with realism. So you acknowledge the challenges, you validate difficult emotions, and then you still encourage hope and growth. Toxic positivity, on the other hand, rushes to dismiss negative feelings. So healthy positivity is open, balanced, and empathetic, whereas toxic positivity is more about ignoring reality in a pursuit of being cheerful.
Okay, so my next question is what is the role of emotions in toxic positivity?
That's a great follow up. Emotions play a huge role because toxic positivity essentially suppresses them. It tells people their emotions aren't valid or that they shouldn't be feeling them. In contrast, emotions are actually vital. They give us important signals about our needs, boundaries, and well being. So when we allow ourselves and others to feel emotions fully, both positive and negative, we can actually build more compassion,
Okay, so my
resilience,
next
and
question
authentic
is what is the
connection.
importance of acknowledging negative emotions?
That's a really key point. Acknowledging negative emotions is important because it helps us process them rather than bottling them up. When we recognize and name these feelings, we give ourselves the space to understand them and respond in healthy ways. This can reduce stress, improve self awareness, and even help us connect more deeply with others since we feel seen and heard.
Okay, so my next question is what is the connection between toxic positivity and avoidance?
That's a really insightful connection. Toxic positivity often acts as a form of avoidance. Instead of confronting or working through difficult emotions, people just push them aside in favor of a positive mindset. This avoidance can prevent people from addressing root causes, seeking help, or finding real solutions. So, in a way, it's a defense mechanism that keeps people from fully engaging with their emotional reality.
Okay, so my next is what is the uh, how does toxic positivity affect people experiencing trauma?
That's a really significant issue. For people going through trauma, toxic positivity can feel especially invalidating. When others insist they just stay positive or move on quickly, it can intensify feelings of loneliness, isolation, or even self blame. Healing from trauma requires a safe space to feel all emotions, process them, and be met with empathy. Without that, toxic positivity can actually slow or complicate recovery.
Okay, so my next question is how can you practice emotional authenticity?
That's a great question. Practicing emotional authenticity means giving yourself permission to feel whatever you're feeling without judgment. You can do this by naming your emotions, expressing them honestly, whether to yourself, a trusted friend, or a therapist, and resisting the urge to hide or downplay them. It also means setting healthy boundaries, being kind to yourself, and allowing others to be real with you too.
Okay, so my next question is, what is the connection between toxic positivity and shame?
That's a really interesting link. Toxic positivity and shame are connected because when someone feels a difficult emotion but dismisses it with forced positivity, they can end up feeling ashamed for having those feelings. Instead of being met with understanding, they might feel like they're failing emotionally. In contrast, embracing all emotions with compassion reduces that shame, fostering a healthier self relationship.
Okay, so my next question is, how does toxic positivity affect personal growth?
That's a really key point. Toxic positivity can actually stall personal growth because it discourages people from examining and learning from their challenges. When we only focus on being positive, we avoid the discomfort of failure, disappointment, or reflection. Growth often happens in those hard, messy moments. So, by embracing all feelings, we become more self aware, adaptable, and resilient.
Okay, so my next question is, how does cultural context influence toxic positivity?
That's a really important factor. Cultural context can shape how positivity is perceived and encouraged. Some cultures expressing negative emotions might be seen as a weakness or something to be avoided, so people lean harder on forced optimism. In other cultures, though, emotional openness is encouraged, so positivity can coexist with authenticity. So, understanding the cultural backdrop really helps us see why toxic positivity might show up differently in different places.
Okay, so my next is, how can you support others without being toxically positive?
That's a really thoughtful question. You can support others by being present, listening without trying to immediately fix things, and validating their emotions. Let them know it's okay to feel what they feel, and offer encouragement by saying things like, I'm here for you, or it's okay to struggle. You can also share small, practical steps, but without bypassing their pain. In short, it's about being real, empathetic, and patient.
Okay, so my next question is, how does toxic positivity impact boundaries?
That's a really important link. Toxic positivity can actually blur or violate boundaries because it might pressure people to ignore their own needs or discomfort to keep up a cheerful front. This can lead people to suppress their own feelings or avoid expressing when they need space.
So my next
Setting
so my next question is, what is the importance of acknowledging systematic issues?
That's a really vital point. Acknowledging systemic issues is important because it helps us see the bigger picture behind individual struggles. Toxic positivity often ignores these broader contexts, which can keep people trapped in cycles of inequality or oppression. By naming systemic factors, we open the door to real change, collective responsibility, and a more just approach to well being.
So my last question is, how does toxic positivity affect depression?
That's a really important connection. Toxic positivity can make depression worse because it invalidates the person's real experience. When someone is told to just stay positive or that their feelings will go away if they try harder, it can increase feelings of isolation, guilt, and hopelessness. True support for depression means acknowledging the struggle, offering compassion, and encouraging professional help if needed.
Okay, thank you, ChatGPT, giving me valuable information. Okay, guys, don't forget to share, like, and follow.
You're very welcome. I'm really glad I could help. And yes, if anyone else could benefit from this info, definitely share it. And if you ever have more questions, I'm here for you.